Welcome. By the end of this recording, you will be able to enjoy a new sense of calm, a new ability to be able to deal with things in a more calm way. Think about how much different things would be if you were just able to handle things without panic or stress. Before we begin, as always, if I could ask you to listen with headphones. This gives a more intense experience, and you'll be able to appreciate the ear-to-ear voice a little better. So, once you're ready to begin, let's take a nice deep breath in. Hold and release. One of the most important things we can do when we're panicked is to learn how to control our breathing. So today that's how we're going to start. Think about how you're breathing right at this moment. You may actually feel quite relaxed, or you may currently be watching this in a state of panic or anxiety. Whether you are listening or watching, it doesn't make a difference. As long as you can hear me, it will be just as effective. You are in a safe place today. A place just to focus on you, and will get you feeling more calm and relaxed in no time. So let's breathe together, and the breathing technique which I tend to use in all of my hypnosis style recordings is where we breathe in, we then pause for a moment, hold our breath, and then we breathe out. This is a very popular technique. It can also be used in things like yoga and Pilates. And it's really just giving you a moment to control your breathing. So as we breathe in, we realize we're in the moment. We hold for just a few seconds, and then we breathe out as if we are releasing any tension and anxiety. So let's do that a few times now. You can do this in your own speed. So just take a nice, slow, deep breath in. Hold 2, 3, 4, and release. And again, let's take a deep breath in. Hold 2, 3, and release. And make sure you're breathing out 2, 3, 4. Nice and slow and relaxed. And let's breathe in again. Good. Feel free to close your eyes. Hold and breathe out. Perfect. If you are listening to this in a state of panic, just stay with me for the breathing. Okay, I'm here with you. So we're going to continue to breathe in, hold, and breathe out. This is a fantastic way to just regain control. You're doing really, really well. This breathing technique is fantastic in any situation where you may find anger building, stress, anything like this. So it's worth just taking the time to do this. It's something that so many people can take for granted, or perhaps they don't realise can actually be a real effective tool to help them feel better. So let's breathe in again. Let's hold 2, 3, 4, and then let's just slowly breathe out. 2, 3, 4. And I think we'll just do one more, okay? So try to just shut out your surroundings, okay? This is your safe space, just for calm. So let's breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Good. Now try to evaluate how you're feeling at this point. Your breathing and your heart rate should feel a little slower and a little more controlled. And by taking those few breaths, we were just able to do that very simply and effectively. I always think that the best thing that we can do in stressful times is just to learn to control ourselves and center ourselves. So these are techniques that are going to help you. So now we're in a slightly more calm place. I just want you to pinpoint one place on your body that feels very, very relaxed. This may seem quite difficult, especially if you're feeling quite stressed, but really go through every point of the body from head to toe and try to just think of one area where you feel quite comfortable and quite relaxed. Now this could be any point of your body. It could be your little toe, it could be your hand, any point on your body where you don't feel tension. You can take the time to find that and don't worry if you can't, but it would be helpful if you could just pick a point which perhaps feels less uncomfortable than other points. So let's focus in on that together now. I really want you to just zone in on this point, as though it's the main focus of your whole body. And I want you to imagine this point glowing like a blue orb. So a nice blue, soft be a bright blue as well, your favourite shade of blue. And this shade represents your one point of calm. The one point that, despite all odds, has remained calm and still. And what we're going to do is try to focus on that feeling. Your body was able to achieve calm in this one pinpointed area, and that shows that you're able to feel calm. Don't worry if this area still doesn't feel particularly comfortable. As long as it feels slightly different to the rest, this will still work. So let's focus now on this one pinpointed part of your body. The one point where you were able to feel calm and relaxed and safe. And what we're going to try and do is push out this light to other areas of your body. So think about how good this point feels, even as we said, if it's compared to other points. Think about how good it would feel if your entire body felt like this. Now our minds are powerful things, and they're controlling how you feel right at this moment, and your body is reacting to how your mind is feeling. At the moment, by focusing on that one point, you're overriding how your brain actually wants you to feel. It wants you to focus on all of those panic points, the points that are stopping you from taking a step back and relaxing, reevaluating. So right now you're taking back control. And as we mentioned, this is the best thing that you can do, and something that you're very, very capable of. So, do you feel ready to try to spread this feeling to the rest of your body and eventually to your mind? At this point, you still might be feeling quite anxious and not ready for that. So feel free to do this in your own time. Assuming though that you are ready, let's move forward. What I want you to imagine that you're doing is pushing out the light to these other areas. The rest of your body is currently glowing a kind of red. It's angry, it's feeling pain and frustration, and we're going to almost flood these areas with this blue light, this calm light. And you're going to do this now, but just slowly, bit by bit. So focus your mind completely on this blue area, okay? And then I want you to imagine pushing this light just out to the sides a little. So this type of circle orb is just gradually getting bigger. Just really, really focus. You're pushing out this blue light, this calm light, onto this red, and you're washing away any pain and tension. Continue to push further out. Imagine almost a sweeping action, pushing to all areas Now, of course, I don't know the area that you started with, but just simply work in an even circle, pushing out the blue light. And as you do so, you start to feel calmer, more in control. You feel your body feel more restful, more peaceful, in less pain, feeling less tension. You feel more at ease, and continue pushing this blue light, this calm light, into all the areas of red, into all the areas that you want to say no. I want to feel calm. So you're gradually doing this. And as you're doing this, your mind is recognizing that you want to feel calmer, you want to relax, you're ready to relax now. It can't compete with you because you're overriding its system. Continue to push that blue light into every little corner. You're doing so well. And again, as you do every part of this, your mind is recognizing that it's time to change. It's time to grow and develop. You don't want to feel in this state of panic or anxiety. You want to be able to stay in this state of calm, or be able to get back to this state whenever you need to. This isn't a time for panic or stress. This is your safe space. A space designed specifically for you to feel calm, to rest and recover, and to return to whenever you need. So let's see how you're doing. I can sense that you've been able to radiate this calm light to lots of other areas of the body. You're doing so well, and we don't want to stop until all areas are fully covered. Think about how you almost feel weighed down when you feel stressed. You feel this heaviness. This blue light is like air, completely weightless. It will make you feel as light as a feather or a fluffy cloud. You're going to feel completely calm, rested, refreshed, and most importantly, in control of how your mind and your body feels. You're telling all these areas of red that they're no longer welcome. This is just the time for blue, for calm, to ease all that tension, worry, panic, and stress. This is your moment to regain that control and to feel happy and weightless. You've taken the decision to change, to feel better, to feel calmer forever. And every time you feel like this, you can come back to this point and use this exact technique of simply spreading the calm out to all those areas of tension. And I can see that you're doing so well, continuing to just use your mind to just gently ease that light into those red areas, those areas of discomfort that are going to become those areas of happiness. Something so simple can change the way that we think, it can change the way that we're programmed. We effectively at this moment are reprogramming our minds. We're changing how we react. We're learning how to deal with certain situations better, more effectively, quicker. And this is enabling you to get on better with your everyday, to feel better. At the end of every day, we all want to feel better. None of us want to feel stressed. We just want to be able to relax. And this is what you're doing right now. You're using this technique to just break the habit of how you feel, to ease that tension, to stop the worry and the panic. And as this blue begins to spread throughout your body, you feel this weightlessness in your shoulders. You feel calmer. You feel more relaxed. And almost at this point you feel quite overwhelmed by how you were able to so easily take back that control. You were able in that moment to stop yourself focusing so much on the panic and the stress. You are able to simply say stop. You've been able to regain your breathing to stay more focused. You've then been able to rid your body of this feeling of pain and anxiety. And now together, lastly, we can focus on your mind. Your mind is such a powerful tool, and it can control how we feel, both, as we've just seen, physically, but of course mentally as well. Now, how we think and deal with stress and anxiety is often something that's already pre-programmed within us, or it's been brought on by certain life events, and sometimes things outside our control. But that doesn't mean that we can't begin to change, just like we've begun to change already. So I want you to think how your mind feels when you're in this state of non-calm. Do you feel almost upset? Do you feel angry? Focus on the main emotion that you feel, because effectively that's what this is all about, just purely emotion. And sometimes what we do, and we're all guilty of this, is we let these emotions override how we're actually feeling. So let's just focus for a moment on how you feel during this state of panic and anxiety. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to break that. We don't want you to feel like that anymore. When we do feel these certain negative feelings, we tend to feel them because we almost feel trapped by them. We feel like there's no way out. And what we need to do is almost have an out of mind and body experience and look at the situation reevaluate. Of course, this is much easier said than done, and even those of us who have learnt how to deal with these things can still struggle, so that's completely normal. But we do need to learn just to reprogram our minds a little bit so that we know that we can cope better when something like this happens again. So I always think a good technique to try is to ask ourselves questions. Not only does this allow our brains to slow slightly whilst we consider the answers, but it allows ourselves to actually think about how we're feeling. So to start with, I like to ask, why am I feeling like this? Now you may be feeling like this because of a situation that's just happened. You may be feeling like this completely at random. You may be feeling like this because you've been triggered by something that's happened in the past. So let's just try to really ask ourselves why we're feeling like this. The next question I like to do is, I like to ask myself, am I going to allow myself to get into panic mode? Now we're all familiar with this mode. It can raise our negative emotions and sometimes spiral out of control. So am I going to allow myself to get into this state? Do I want to see myself in this panicked state? What harm is that going to do to me physically and emotionally? And lastly, I like to ask myself, why do I want to allow myself to feel like this when I could just say stop? Why do I want to feel this way? Why don't I just say no and learn to reprogram my mind? Learn to take a step back. Learn to just do my breathing, to focus. Why do I want to get into this state? If you've really taken the time to consider those questions and you still want to get into this state, then I'd ask you to go back to step 1 with the breathing. You need to really look at yourself from an outer body perspective. If you saw someone else in this type of state that you get yourself in, what would you tell them to do? How would you tell them to feel? And how would you be observing them generally? Would you feel sympathy, or would you think, pull yourself together? Just think about how you deal with someone else in this state. And what you'll find is, when you're dealing with others and you begin to talk to them, perhaps to get them out of a state of panic, you'll begin to rationalize everything that's going on with them to try to get them to calm down. Now, if you just did that technique with yourself, you wouldn't be in this situation. You have the ability to completely change how you feel and how you respond to things. There's no right or wrong answer in this, and everybody's different. And whatever works for you is the right thing. Never feel like you have to feel a certain way. And sometimes by having a good cry or getting angry, it's almost a release. All I'm giving you is the tool to be able to just try in those moments where we don't need this huge release. These moments where we do let things manifest and get bigger than they need to be. I'm just giving you the tools to really stop those little moments from happening, and hopefully that will prevent that big blow up moment. Learning to just reassess the situation almost from another person's point of view can be a really effective tool. The simple technique of breathing in a slow and controlled manner can be so effective. By asking yourself those questions in that moment of panic, that moment where you're not sure what to do, that can really help slow down your mind before it allows itself to control your body. And of course, that technique of being able to just spread that calming blue light is going to be really effective in the times where you're feeling so tense and like you don't know what to do. So, how are you feeling right now? I would hope that you would be feeling more calm and more relaxed. But this isn't a race. This is just a process. And you can come back and listen to this time and time again to practice those techniques. What's important to remember is you're not alone. There are so many people who feel this way, but you've chosen to step forward and say no. You want to change how you feel for the better. And I think that's quite exciting. So thank you for listening. I wish you good health, and I hope this helps you in staying calmer forever.